Good evening and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. Please remember that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website nta.ng/live and on all our social media platforms displayed on the screen. Candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC Abiodun Oyebanji has won the Ekiti State governorship election conducted Saturday, June 18, 2022. Oyebanji polled 187,057 votes to defeat 15 other contestants. The returning officer and the Vice Chancellor, University of Ibadan, Professor Kayode Adebowale, declared the APC candidate winner at the end of collation of results.
Abiodun Abayomi Oyebanji of APC scored a total of 187,057 votes. Abiodun Abayomi Oyebanji of APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared winner and is returned elected. Signed by the returning officer. Dated 19th day of June 2022. Thank you very much.
The election was adjudged to have been peaceful and orderly. In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated the candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC, Abiodun Oyebanji, as he is declared governor-elect in the Ekiti State governorship election. In a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, the president said the victory was well-deserved, urging him to be magnanimous in victory. President Buhari also rejoiced with the APC chairman Abdullahi Adamu and the National Working Committee, describing the victory as proof of public confidence in the APC as the choice platform for good governance, especially as the nation prepares for the coming elections in Osun and the general elections in 2023. Ekiti State Governor-elect Abiodun Oyebanji of the All Progressives Congress APC has pledged extensive consultation, including invitation to his co-contestants in his quest to sustain development in the state. He announced this while giving his acceptance speech following his declaration as the winner of the Saturday governorship election by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Let's join Kunle Adeyeye.
News conference, the governor-elect admitted the governance is tasking but has taken the responsibility, having gathered much experience while serving the state in different capacities. He emphasized that he will reach out to his co-contestants in the interest of the state.
We will continue our consultation to seek more input into our blueprint for the state. And will, in the coming days, open formal channels through which you can send suggestions to us. We want to continue to listen to you.
Meanwhile, the governorship candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP Sheguni, who came second in the election, has described the results as unacceptable. He told NTA News at his Ifaki country home that the result is being studied and urged his supporters to remain calm. In Ado Ekiti, Kunle Adeyeye, NTA News.
To the provision of Part 5, Paragraph 11 of the Electoral Guidelines of the People's Democratic Party, the National Working Committee has approved the nomination of some party stakeholders to serve on the Deputy Governorship Candidate Screening Committee for the purpose of screening and verification of nominated deputy governorship candidates in all the 28 states where governorship elections are scheduled. The party's National Publicity Secretary, Debo Olugwagba, in a statement says the 9-member committee is chaired by a former national chairman of the PDP, Dr. Okwesilize Nwodo, and Dr. Akilu Ndabawa, serving as secretary. The screening exercise, which will hold at the PDP National Secretariat in Abuja on Wednesday, June 22, 2022, is mandatory for all nominated deputy governorship candidates of the party. Trade ministers from member countries of the World Trade Organization have adopted 10 decisions and declarations at the just concluded World Trade Organization 12th Ministerial Conference at Geneva, Switzerland. The Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investments, Mariam Yalwaji Katagum, who led the Nigerian delegation, commended the Director General WTO, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, on the structured modalities of sessions which provided a constructive way of engagement on the WTO response to the pandemic, food crisis, fisheries subsidies, agricultural reforms, and general reforms as part of the conference's outcome. Documents 10 ministerial decisions and declarations were adopted by the trade ministers, including the adoption of the 20 years outstanding agreements on fisheries subsidies, among others. The ministerial conference is the topmost decision-making body of the WTO. Nigeria's First Lady Aisha Buhari has called on Nigerians, irrespective of religious backgrounds, to strictly adhere to the teachings of their faith for the upbringing of their children in order to become useful to themselves, members of their family, and of course the society at large. The First Lady stated this during a dinner in honor of Sadiq Kauji and his bride Iman Tanko Almakura, a daughter to Dr. Mairo Almakura, who is a special assistant to the President on Africa First Lady's Peace Mission. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports that while congratulating Senator Almakura and the mother of the bride, Dr. Mairo, and their entire family for giving out their daughter in marriage, the First Lady enjoined the couple to keep faith with the teachings of Islam in their matrimonial life. She also expressed and emphasized the need for them to continue to love and cherish one another. She prayed to God to bless their matrimonial life.
We all know how she was brought up. I'm sure it's going to be a good wife, a caring wife to her husband. And also, I would like to call the attention of the husband. We should continue with the love he has for her now and to sustain the momentum. With this, we call on all the parents and well-wishers that are here this evening with us to pray for the couples to have a peaceful and a loving marriage life. And also to pray for those that are yet to be married. May God bless them with a partner that will love them, take care of them.
The event was attended by Nigerians from all walks of life, cutting across the length and breadth of the country, comprising governors and their spouses, ministers, and other well-wishers. Fathers have been tasked on standing responsibly by their families to enhance security and growth and development. Deborah Gazaji Micah reports that church services this Sunday in the Federal Capital Territory took a different dimension as fathers in Nigeria join in the global celebration of those God has ordained to represent Him in homes.
Fathers are a reflection of God in the family, serving as the source and support system. This celebration, however, for that father in any given home to lead by example as their children's heroes.
Every family is a nation, and the father is the head of that nation, or you can call him the king.
You need to educate them. Whatever happens, the family, either good or bad, the father to take responsibility.
Fathers need to know that if the head is good, the body or the entire family and the society will feel the impact.
Want our fathers to be friendly. Know that when they stress out themselves, they come home tired. They are unable to relate and to connect with the wives and the children.
Fathers are expected to create atmosphere of love.
Do all within the context of remembering that they are the source and the support for society.
Insecurity in the society today and a lot of untoward behavior simply because the father is absent.
It's as if we are losing the value, the core value of a true father. A true father will not discriminate over any of his children.
Fathers are to be role models unto their children.
More than 3,000 local churches of the Nigerian Baptist Convention are observing the celebration with focus on the friendly father. Deborah Ozaji, Micah, NTA News.
We now join Adeola for more news in our Lagos Network Center on Nationwide. Good evening, Adeola. It's over to you.
Good evening, Ayo. Thank you for joining us in Lagos. Ensuring the well-being of children, especially access to quality education, remains the key to achieving a better society. This was the stance of broadcasters at the second edition of the Day of the African Child, organized by Radio Nigeria in Lagos. Diana Ajale reports.
This drama, titled Child Labor, demonstrated by students from various schools across Lagos, is a true reflection of challenges faced by majority of African children, from early marriage to child abuse, sexual molestation, lack of access to quality education, among others. These broadcasters and concerned Nigerians say have continued to pose serious threat to the well-being of the African child. These students are therefore using this platform to call on relevant authorities to eliminate harmful practices against children in Nigeria and ensure their rights and safety is guaranteed. After a kneeling contest drama presentation, Lateef Ibrahim emerged winner, while Elizabeth Ojo was recognized as the best female performance in debate and essay writing.
Do you feel excited about this? How to be expecting it? It's really encouraging, and I thank you for it.
Drawing its conclusion from the theme of this year's Day of African Child celebration, eliminating harmful practices affecting children, management of Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Lagos, insists that harnessing the great potential in children through quality education is one of the best ways to change the narrative.
African child should be celebrated, looking at the challenges that they face, and a lot of things are happening these days. So it is necessary for us to celebrate them.
They displayed their very special skills to show that the African child is very intelligent. The African child is an achiever and can do so much if given the right parts to follow.
Each year, June 16 is celebrated as the Day of the African Child. The day provides opportunity to focus on the challenges facing the children and youth, as well as recognizing their roles and contributions as future leaders. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
Away from the African child now, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, has advised military retirees against being used by criminal elements to truncate the country's democracy, saying such move could lead to a face-off between the military and civilians. The Chief of Defense Staff stated this while addressing the retirees trainees who graduated from the Nigerian Armed Forces Resettlement Center, Oshodi, having completed the mandatory vocational training at the center. Ruth Aria Samuel completes the report.
Transition to civilian life after several years of meritorious service is a global practice in the military, and the Nigerian Armed Forces is no exception. To ensure a seamless move back to civilian lifestyle, the Nigerian Armed Forces Resettlement Center, Oshodi, Lagos, was established. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, enjoined the retiring graduates of the center to take advantage of the skills acquired to better their lives. General Irabo advised them to be prudent with their retirement benefits, invest wisely, and resist the temptation of meddling in politics, as such move could destabilize the country's democracy.
And as they go back to their various communities or wherever they have chosen to reside, that they should be aware of, subversive elements that could be lurking around. And so it is necessary for them to be wary of such desires, so that as soon as they see them, they have the feedback mechanism to reach out towards.
316 graduates drawn from the Nigerian Army, Air Force and the Navy were trained in various vocations for easy reintegration into civilian lifestyle.
I was able to learn how to produce soap, Dettol, Izal, and so many things.
I have got most experience in poultry. So by the almighty grace of God, once I go back to my settlement in Abuja, I would like to establish a pot of myself.
It is expected that with the acquisition of needed skills, the retirees will lead productive lives in their post-service years. In Lagos, Ruth Ario Samuel, NTA News.
You're still watching nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Remember to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/alllive and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. We shall be joining Nana in Sokoto Network Center for more stories from that zone when we return from this break. Don't go away.
The Nigerian aviation sector is rapidly growing with the construction of new international airport terminals in several regions of the country. The new Murtala Mohammed International Airport has an estimated passenger increase of 30 million annually and 15 million for Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Malam Aminu Kano International Airport is also expected to open new frontiers for the region with more travel capacity for the annual Hajj, while the new Akanu Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, avails more business opportunities connecting the industrial cities in the region to the world. This new terminal beats world-class standards with enabling infrastructure that aid air travel, tourism, and the eventual growth of the country's GDP.
Open up commerce and of course link us to international societies.
People from international community will come here to do business, and then that will bring in more revenue to the states.
Now, distances can be seamlessly covered as Nigeria keeps raising its bar to suit global infrastructure standards.
Engage your team this summer at Digitest 2022, an annual ICT creative camp and competition for young minds of ages 8 to 18, with the theme Connecting Technology, Energy and Climate. Date Saturday, August 13 to Sunday, August 21st, 2022. Venue, Top Faith International Secondary School in Patak, Akwa Ibom State. For registration, visit www.digitalpairs.org. For information and inquiries, call 0807-782-3307 or 0807-782-3308. For more updates, follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn at Digital Peers. Digitest is brought to you by Digital Peers International in collaboration with the Akwa Ibom State Government.
Harmony of biodiversity is poor, both in climate crisis and crime phases.
Dicey situation indeed, yet we carry on like a bull in a china shop.
On environment matters, we take the bull by the horns, comb the nooks and cranny of Nigeria.
Asking tough questions,
examining challenges and opportunities,
giving human face to the science, facts, facts, and global agreements. It's a call for action. Don't miss it.
Join award-winning environmental journalist Jennifer Igwe and other NTA Eco reporters for Environment Matters.
The
The broadcast media ecosystem is dynamic and requires continuous training for practitioners to perform optimally. NTA Television College, Jos, invites relevant officers to the following specially packaged training programs. Intermediate Online News Reporting Skills, date 13th July to 5th August 2022, 4 weeks. Sports Coverage and Reporting Skills in the Mass Media, date 13th July to 22nd July 2022, 2 weeks. Basic Camera Operation Techniques, date 1st August to 26th August 2022, 4 weeks. Advanced Broadcast Accounting and Auditing, date 15th August to 9th September 2022, 4 weeks. Transmitter Operations and Maintenance, date 22nd August to 26th August 2022, 1 week. Workforce Intelligence, Key to Organizational Effectiveness and Efficiency, date 5th September to 16th September 2022, 2 weeks. The course fee for 1 week courses is 100,000 naira per participant. The fee for 2 weeks courses is 150,000 naira, while the course fee for 4 weeks courses is 180,000 naira only, accommodation inclusive. The venue for all courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA Television College near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos. For more inquiries, please call 0803-079-5335 or 0806-9809-807. NTA TV College, Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us here in Sokoto. The Nigerian government has been urged to evolve measures aimed at mitigating the effects of banditry and shortage of rainfall predicted by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, on the country's food security. This came to the fore at a press conference convened by the non-governmental organization Sasakawa Alumni, Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto chapter. Sheikh Muhammad Detti reports.
According to the prediction by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, apart from delayed onset of rainfall in some northern states from May to August 2022, dry spells of different degrees of severity, ranging from mild to severe, are predicted for states that include Adamawa, Benue, Kogi, Ekiti, Kwara, Niger, FCT, Kaduna, Sokoto, Kebbi, and Gombe, and parts of Katsina, Jigawa, Yobe, Borno, Nasarawa, and Plateau states. The NIMET prediction also indicates that there will be drought and hunger, especially in the northwest region of Nigeria, due to delayed onset of rainfall and its shortage, coupled with the banditry which had forced many farmers to abandon their farms.
We get together all of these basic within and around our homes, our schools, our offices, and other only utilized public places are cultivated with either legumes or vegetables.
Governments need to do more towards addressing banditry, while farmers need to use improved seedlings and mixed cropping in order to withstand the effects of shortage of rainfall predicted by Nigerian Meteorological Agency. Nigerians need to engage in rainy and dry season farming, poultry and livestock production to boost food security.
I advise the farmers to go for short season varieties of crops that they usually cultivate.
The press conference highlighted the need for Central Bank of Nigeria and other commercial banks to support farmers and all other Nigerians to enable them access loans in the interest of enhancing the country's food security. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Detti, NTA News.
A heavy rainstorm has wreaked havoc on property in Birnin Kebbi, resulting to heavy losses running into millions of naira. Usman Abdullahi Shehu reports that it was the third storm to hit the town and its fringes this year.
Birnin Kebbi, the Kebbi state capital, is no stranger to storms and other environmental challenges, notably flood. Even by Kebbi standard, the storms this time around took the city by surprise. A visit to the areas affected revealed a strong commitment by those affected to weather the storm. Some of those affected comment.
Actually, the incident is a tragic one, and it's not easy. We found it very difficult. It was around 12 midnight. I've just seen some lightning coming out from the south. Then it took over the side of my house, and the other one came from the eastern side. It also took the whole zinc.
We truly lost some houses by the wind. The roof
were blown off.
As the 2023 rainy season progresses, Birnin Kebbi residents and those at the fringes, to say the least, are living in apprehension, mindful of the fact that such natural phenomena gives no notice. Birnin Kebbi, Usman Abdullah Shehu, NTA News.
Well, that's our contribution for today. Don't forget, you can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and other social media handles displayed on your screen. Nationwide continues in Abuja. Thank you for joining us here.
Thanks, Nana in our Sokoto Network Center. Now, as an intending couple, have you gone for a genotype test? If yes, and the results show that you are not compatible, what then would be your next decision? Your answers to these questions will determine the increase or reduction of the burden of sickle cell disease in Nigeria. Correspondent Uche Ugochukwu tells us more about the disorder, which statistics rank Nigeria as the country with the highest number of sufferers in the world.
When I was about to get married, and I know quite well that AS and AS can't get married, I was ready to give up the love for the unborn children.
If I know from the early stage, I could have not married her. Why? Because I find it painful when I notice those children are in pain, and those are the most intelligent ones, the ones I like the most.
Many homes experience the pains of Nehemiah Sunday, and on the other hand, some intending couples are in the dilemma of sacrificing their love or risking the pains and regrets of Nehemiah. Today, the World Health Organization puts the prevalence of sickle cell disease in Nigeria at about 20 per 1,000 births.
This one that is sickle shape hinders the free flow of oxygen in the bloodstream of the body system, so thereby creating pain. But the one that is normal flows easily to every part of the body, and that is why when it is sickled, it is very, very fatal, and that is by inheritance.
Ignorance, inadequate information, and resistance to change are identified as key factors responsible for the rise in cases in Nigeria. So, a non-governmental organization, Sickle Cell Disorder Survivors Foundation, whose founder is a sufferer, is poised to change the narrative.
Before I got to know that I'm a sickler because I'm not opportune to be born into an educated family, they were telling that my parents were losing my siblings, and they attributed it to Abiku, Ogbanje, enemies, witchcraft, and all of that. And so there is need for them to know what genotype, compatible genotype before marriage. There is need that they should know their genotype before they go into serious relationship that will lead to their marriage. There is need for this awareness and sensitization.
For me to be aside the interactive lectures, the foundation embarked on a work to observe the 2022 World Sickle Cell Disorder Day, tagged Shine the Light on Sickle Cell. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
So let's all be sure of our genotype before getting married. We now move on nationwide and go over to our Maiduguri Network Center, and Abubakar is next with the next set of reports. Good evening, Abubakar.
That's true, Ayodeji. Good evening to you, and it's always a pleasure to see you. Borno State Government has approved automatic employment of 40 indigenous newly graduated medical doctors to be enrolled into the state civil service. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum announced this when he received the young doctors led by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Mohammed Aminu Guluzi, and the Chief Medical Director, Hospitals Management Board, Professor Arab Alhaji, to the Government House, Maiduguri. Mohammed Goni completes the story.
The 40 medical doctors graduated from various universities both within Nigeria and abroad, including those sponsored by the Borno State government to study medicine in Sudan. Governor Bagana Umar Zulum, who congratulated them on successful completion of their studies, urged them to work with the state government to change the narrative in the health sector, and directed the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Gulize, to issue appointment letters to all those willing to work with the state government.
Government has already,
the gap in terms of salaries between the states and the federal government. You people will take over the administration of providing health services in terms of human capital development. We need to start somewhere. We need to come in to become consultants and come and work at the area.
The governor further stressed that there is need to strengthen the state's healthcare system and assure them that they will be supported to progress in their career, including training and retraining both at home and abroad. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Mohamed Guluze, and the Chief Medical Director, Hospital Management Board, Professor Arab Alaji, who introduced the doctors to the governor, said the 40 indigenous doctors, some of whom have already secured employment elsewhere in the state civil service. Dr. Aisha Moina, on behalf of her colleagues, assured the governor of their commitment to work hard, promising that they will not fail the state government. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
Away from that, to look at other issues now. The need for relevant stakeholders to address the psychotraumatic needs of the citizenry occasioned by the 13 years of violent conflict in the Northeast and compounded by the COVID-19 has again been stressed. It is in the light of this that Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital Maiduguri, in collaboration with the West African College of Physicians, organized a two-day conference for medical health personnel in the region. Chatwa Jasni will now tell us more.
The 13 years of violent conflict in the Northeast has left traumatic footprints in the minds of victims, which push for suicidal attempts and other evil intents. This 2 days biannual course by West African College of Physicians through the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital Maiduguri has its theme, psychotrauma in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic and the insurgency in low and middle income settings. Stakeholders are of the opinion that focusing on psychosocial and socio-economic needs of the affected population and ignoring the psychotraumatic needs of the people will give birth to partial healing. National Secretary of the college, Professor Taiwo Latif Sheikh, said the conference is intended to equip medical practitioners with skills to heal the affected population of traumatic wounds inflicted by the insurgency.
One of the main objectives of this update course is to bring people in medical field, not only psychiatrists. We transfer the skills of how to recognize the presence of such psychotraumatic problems and know how to provide what we refer to as psychological first aid.
CMD Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital Maiduguri, Dr. Ibrahim Abduwakawa, and that of Hospital's Management Board, Professor Mohamed Arab Alaji, as well as representative of CMD University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, among other speakers, said the course will not have come at a better time than now and urged the participants to put in their best to get the optimum from the training.
At the end of the day, we hope to come up with a communique that will make profile recommendations that will present to the government to see how it can affect policies.
Over 120 participants from across West Africa have so far registered for the hybrid course. In Maiduguri, Jadwa Jessini, NTA News.
If you're just joining us, you're on to Nationwide on Africa's Window to the World, the Nigerian Television Authority. It's now time to return to Ayodeji in Abuja for more reports for us this evening. Ayodeji.
Do you run a breast or cervical cancer service? Are you a private or public laboratory, clinic or hospital that offer any of breast imaging, cervical cancer screening, HPV vaccination, or other breast or cervical cancer services? Is your service a primary, secondary, or tertiary center located in any part of Nigeria, no matter how remotely located it is? If yes to any of these questions, then subscribe to the OCI Foundation's Save Breast app and become accessible and visible to millions of Nigerians. It is all for free. To subscribe, just type the Save Breast application form on Google or go to the OCI Foundation's page on www.ocifoundation.org and search for Save a Breast application form. Complete the form and submit. And let millions of Nigerians patronize you, all for free. Become part of the OCI Foundation's quest to tackle breast and cervical cancers in Nigeria. And join us as we rise by lifting
with the discourse on national monuments and assets and how much is being done to preserve and
to the language issue. We have turned English to become like a pride value in our own cultural values.
Cash transfer. It's not a COVID-19.
Aviation 1897 was a deliberate
many of these people coming to the urban areas now.
These are applications. There are terms and conditions.
Of course, it is the union of two people, a man and a woman coming together.
My name is Nambi Odiko.
And I'm Elizabeth Omori.
And welcome to Port Harcourt. Nigerians in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State are calling on governments and security agencies to beef up security, especially around public spaces, to save lives and property. This is coming on the heels of increasing waves of insecurity perpetrated by criminal elements in the country. Joy Ubani reports.
Many analysts describe increasing cases of banditry in the country as worrisome. With this in mind, many observers believe that there is need to heighten security in every region of the country, while making concerted efforts to address these challenges for a sustainable, healthy polity.
Changing military commanders, heads of military agencies, security agencies has not helped because the situation persists.
Some Nigerians in Uyo are of the opinion that there should be more aggressive actions to curb these forms of killings.
You shouldn't leave anything in the hands of the security operatives. The security operatives are human beings. We are in position to even assist them.
If there's a restructuring, the security agencies would be better equipped to carry out their responsibilities.
Sadly, the massive killings being perpetrated daily by unknown gunmen have been creating reactions from religious circles.
We also in the church, be it in the north or be it in the south, also we should try to be vigilant. It's a warning signal.
Screen people before they enter into places of worship. Because this thing that is happening now, we don't know who and who, or who is next target.
President Buhari has at several fora expressed displeasure over these incidents while directing security agencies to fish out those involved in this dastardly act. Meanwhile, Uyo residents are appealing to government to find lasting solutions to these challenges, while Nigerians hope to live in their country devoid of death by unknown gunmen who confront their existence on almost a daily basis. In Uyo, Joy Ubani, NTA News.
The brief delay at the ongoing East-West Road project will soon be over following the reassurance from officials of the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to finalize the handing over process of the project from the Niger Delta Ministry to the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing. Robinson Derataide reports.
The rationale for the handing over of the East-West Road project from the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs to the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing was informed by the need to facilitate funding for the early completion of the project. The River State section of the project, which is about 100 kilometers stretch, is being handled by 2 contractors, and about 40 kilometers of it, mostly Chobato MOA axis, is almost completed.
We deemed it necessary to come to site to confirm certain things we saw on paper to see whether they are verifiable, and we have seen it. They have completed most of them, but meanwhile we have another window of funding we call Sukuk. RUCC was giving some money, all of them were giving money, so we are processing that Sukuk to be paid. Once they are paid, we believe the contractors will come back to site and start work.
Officials of the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, who were on inspection, noted the need to redesign the element section of the project to channel stagnant water to ensure durability of the road.
The upgrading of that portion, the Onet junction to Eleme, that's the only outstanding section, and that one requires additional approval for augmentation.
Once the treating problems of taking over is completed, I can almost assure you that work will not stop for a moment, because funding is virtually perfected to complete the job.
The East-West Road is about 340 kilometers road project from Efron in Delta State to On in Akwa Ibom State, connecting the South-South to other states of the country. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Derataide, NTA News.
And that's a contribution from here. Ayodeji is back to you in Abuja.
Thanks, Jenny, in our Port Harcourt Network Center. Following months of epileptic power supply in Abuja and environs, the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, AEDC, says it is embarking on 40 quick win projects aimed at rehabilitating its network to improve power supply. A statement by its managing director, Adeoye Fadeibi. The projects currently ongoing include deloading and overloaded feeders, acquiring new distribution transformers, and repair of 78 existing ones. This is in addition to ongoing maintenance on its 34 power transformers, while acknowledging the persistent poor electricity supply in Abuja and environs. AEDC appeals to electricity consumers to be patient as industry players addresses broader challenges of load generation and system instability. There is a great link between the rising rate of crime and the menace of drug abuse. To this end, psychologists believe that controlling substance abuse is a task for all. Etim Okonusanga is using his gift of writing to reorientate drug addicts through his latest novel. Francis Form reports.
Substance abuse amongst youth is fast becoming a global public health concern. Despite efforts by the government through the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency to stem its tide, there has been a consistent spate in the number of cases, especially among adolescents. However, this 152-page book, The Death Stick, written by Etim Okonusanga, exposes to the youth the dire consequences of tobacco smoking and substance abuse.
Every nook and cranny of this nation you go, you find cigarettes. And what it does is to kill gradually. And what does it kill? It kills destinies.
The book reviewer describes it as an expressive literature that belongs to the drama genre.
Act 1 is the exposition, and it has 5 scenes. Act 2, the complication, it has 5 scenes. And of course, all the acts have 5 scenes. Now, the book has 152 pages.
Other works of the author include Scream of Purpose, The Blind Seer, Grabbed the Opportunity, Whistleblower, Chief Amber's Pet, and The Cry of a Warrior, amongst others. Frank Sesfom, NTA News.
Nigeria and Miami-Dade County in Florida, USA, are exploring ways of developing the tourism and trade sectors for the benefit of both partners. This was made known when the Director General, National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism, NAOTO, Nura Kangiwa, received a delegation from Miami in Abuja. Oyinaya Kaluoka reports.
It is a delegation of about 14 people who are in Nigeria to explore the possibilities of investment partnership in key sectors of aviation, maritime, and the tourism industry.
The idea that when we connect, that when we build those lines of communication and travel back and forth, that we can actually strengthen the Nigerian economy, we can also strengthen the Miami-Dade economy.
And the next step would be to do a quick market research study to see actually how many people are flying out of the United States and connecting on various flights and coming into Africa.
We are positioned to open the gate for trade to Latin America for the people of Nigeria, and the people of Nigeria, the government of Nigeria, industry in Nigeria need to take advantage of this opportunity.
Director General, National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism, NAOTO, Nuhu Kangiwa, said the vast social, cultural and creative potential the country is blessed with will open a wide range of opportunities.
Our relationship with them will, in one way or another, be an opportunity for Nigeria and Nigerians to acquire the requisite skills to turn our endowments, into fruition.
At the meeting to move the tourism industry forward are heads of agencies in the culture and tourism sector in Nigeria. Oyina Kaluoka, NTA News.
Let's also tell you that 9 parcels of meth hidden in packs of conflicts have been intercepted at the narco export shed of the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Ikeja, and a courier company in Lagos. 2 freight agents identified as suspects have also been arrested in connection with the crime. The NDLEA also reveals that a joint inspection with Nigeria Customs Service also yielded the seizure of 10 cartons of an estimated 500,000 tramadol tablets with an estimated street value of 200 million naira. Meanwhile, 33 parcels of cannabis said to have originated from India have been seized at the Tinkan Seaport, Lagos, while the suspected notorious drug dealer wanted for some past attacks on men of the agency in Adamawa State has been apprehended during nationwide operations in Borno, Kogi, Ogun, Zamfara, and Taraba states. The Katsina State Area Command of Nigeria Customs Service has intercepted smuggled items with duty-paid value of about 40 million naira between the 1st of May this year to date. The controller of the command, Dola Wada Chedi, who made this known to newsmen while displaying the contraband, says the seizure indicates significant decrease in smuggling activities within the axis due to the reopening of Jibia International Border. Shehu Adamu reports.
The command strike towards the operation of smuggling in Katsina State led to the interception of 715 bags of 40 rice of 50 kilograms each, another 6 bags of 25 kilograms of rice.
Re-strategizing, we are every day putting extra strategy, changing our patterns so that they don't have the leverage of giving the information, because all the incidents happen as a result of the information, and in which we are working drastically on it with other security agencies.
On the success recorded after the reopening of Jibia border, the Katsina Customs Controller Dalhawa Dachede explains that the command witnessed a volume of export to the tune of 5,000 metric tons in liquefied petroleum gas and cement, with a sum of over 100 million naira collected as duty, while appealing to business community to take advantage of federal government import and export policies. The controller emphasized the need for the renewal of custom license agencies and the opening of new ones to strengthen the nation's economy, as the operatives of the service will not deter in the fight against smuggling activities. In Katsina, Shehu Adamu, NTA News.
In another development, perpetrators of electoral violence and crime have been warned to desist from such acts, as the police will not allow culprits to escape the wrath of the law. The Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 6 Command, Kola Okola, who stated this at the decoration ceremony for newly promoted officers in Calabar, also mandated the officers to redouble efforts in maintaining law and order in the society. Maureen Leo Ajom reports.
Recent, the just concluded political party primaries in some states recorded pockets of violence. In Cross River State, a police officer and a political talk were killed while some people sustained injuries. This, the Assistant Inspector General of Police Zone 6 says, is not acceptable, as politicians are expected to play the game by the rules.
Violence does not pay. All the political actors have been advised that they should shun violence. And the officers and men of the Nigerian police force are going to be at alert to make sure that no violence is allowed.
The Assistant Inspector General of Police advised police officers, especially the newly promoted ones, to step up their vigilance.
Promise to research any reportedly will come across in the course of our duty professionally and with the fact.
I will do my best to do as expected of me.
I'm so happy because among men we are two, and I will do my job diligently.
13 new promoted police officers in the zone were decorated at the Zone 6 headquarters, Calabar. Maureen Leo Ajom, NTA News.
And next is sports updates with Cynthia Ogu.
Super Falcons are determined to be Africa's champions for the 10th time in history, with intense training already in full swing ahead of the 14th Women's Africa Cup of Nations billed for Morocco. Super Falcons media officer revealed that the technical crew are deliberate in preparing the ladies for the crucial test, including warding off potential distractions from media in order to keep the players focused.
Everybody wants to halt the dominance of the Super Falcons in Africa. Everybody wants to create an upset. Everybody wants to use the Super Falcons to make a news. But I would want to tell people that it is our duty as a team to make sure that we sustain and maintain our #1 spot in Africa.
Still on football, coach of the Nigerian under-17 side, the Golden Eaglets, said the team is training hard to ensure the boys pimp the baby elephants of Cote d'Ivoire in their semi-final encounter of the ongoing Wafu B under-17 tournament on Tuesday. The game, which would determine teams who would qualify for the under-17 Africa Cup of Nations next year, will also see which team zooms into the finals of the regional tourney in Ghana. The second semi-final will see Burkina Faso face off with host Ghana. Finally, to athletics, Jamaica's two-time Olympics champion Shirley Ann Fraser-Price has equaled her 2022 world's best time to win the 100 meters at the Paris Diamond League. Price powered to a victory in 10.67 seconds as Britain's Daryl Nita finished second after clocking a season best of 10.99 seconds. Meanwhile, Nigeria's track sensation Tobilola Amusan, who has been outstanding in the past few days with back-to-back wins in the just concluded African Championship and Continental Gold Tour in Finland, made Nigeria proud again when she stormed to a 12.41 seconds to win the 100 meters hurdle and break a previous Africa record. With Sports Update, Cynthia Ogun, NT News.
That's nationwide. We thank you for watching. I'm Ayo Deji. Makinde, please remember to connect with the NTA and stand against rape and rapists. From all of us here, we wish you a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app.
the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the U-Report link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
There is a lot of fake news and report circulating, especially on social media, on the coronavirus. Do not believe or partake in the spread of these fake reports. If it is not on the official website or news from the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, disregard such report. Only together can we beat this virus. Only together can we overcome this pandemic. Follow the instructions and guidelines provided to combat this virus. Most importantly, stay at home. Self-isolate, regardless of your status. The virus doesn't move unless we move. Let us work together to better Nigeria. Together, we can do this. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
Disaster occurs on frequent basis. Some we hear of, others we do not. Terrorism, flood, fire, earthquake, car or plane crashes, building collapse, and even armed robbery, each bringing assets and revenue loss, human mortality, and in 90% of survivors, great loss of hope. Flooding is the most common of all environment hazards, and it regularly claims over 20,000 lives per year and adversely affects about 75 million people worldwide. Nigeria has had its fair share. Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows, only time. And who can say if your love grows, as your heart knows, only time. Emergencies, as the name implies, are not set out to happen, but they can be planned or budgeted for. Disaster management may not avert emergency threats, but it will decrease the impact of disaster where well handled. It then brings to the fore the key phases to management of disaster: mitigation, response, recovery, preparedness, and prevention. Every citizen must be well acquainted with all of them. Wishing disaster away does not avert it. Rather, as put in the local palace, a man of valor is only identified at a time of emergency. Let us always be prepared.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Hello and welcome. It's time for another interesting package of
everything music.
Angelina, the cool in my temperature. If you call, I go can deliver.
This is Talking Movies.
In times of old, the world was full of wonder. No.
Welcoming you to your weekend for today.
Right, so Comparative,
It's time to use our voice.
Beyond 6 packs.
Bills, 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 bills.
Pay the bills. Be linked up on bills. Pay my bills.
Welcome to Gallery.
Me and my parties. London for what?
London for medicine.
Medicine for what?
Medicine for coffee.
Are you sickness?
To our illness. Welcome to Gist Zone.
Alright, my name is the Eselucien Wego One. Ona nyokoko nyonyo.
This is the network service of the NTA.
You are welcome to Abrahamic Mission. My name is Imam Fuad Adeyemi, and today I have great religious leaders who will join me in discussing current issues that we are facing now as a nation. Before I talk, I know everybody will know what I mean by current issue. It's about politics and the rest of us. And today we are going to, I have in the studio Most Reverend Peter Ogumuyiwa, who is the Archbishop of the province of Abuja, the African Church of Nigeria. You are welcome, Reverend.
Good day to you all. God bless you.
And we have Sheikh Imam Kabir Muhammad Adam. He is an imam from the National Mosque. National Mosque is the #1 mosque in Nigeria here. Imam, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Together we'll be discussing politics and the rest of us. We have seen it the way it's been done, we have seen it the way it's been run, and we have seen where it's going. But I believe they all come to you people. They come to the imams, they come to the pastors, they come to the church, they come to the mosque. And whatever you say, this time around, I want to tie you to God, that God will hold you. When I mean you, I mean the religious leaders. If the way you take us, that is the way we will go. So it means you are the one that will be first queried by God and not us. But we'll discuss that when we get there. But before we continue with that discussion, I know so many people are eager to hear what they want to say. Let me begin to read some of the messages that we received recently. This person said, "Good morning, my Lord Spiritual. I'm Evangelist Willie Martins. I've been following the program. It is as if today's topic is more touching. 1. Human virtues. Love, patience, tolerance, forbearing, peace, and piety. 2. Understanding, acceptability of one another, respect for one another. All this can transform our nation, Nigeria." And I say, "Good evening, my brother. Please, I want to encourage this program to be aired on various TV stations nationwide." I think what you are saying is right. Well, we thank God. It has started manifesting. We have the Abrahamic Mission is being shown not just on NTA network by 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. on Fridays, and also is being repeated on Sunday by 5 p.m. At the same time on Sunday, the Radio Nigeria network also broadcasts it at the same time live also on Sunday by 5 p.m. And there is an FM station here in Abuja, Citizen FM, also broadcast it, and it also in some other times they also rebroadcast the program, and some other media organizations I believe are also joining, but we still continue to try more by God's grace. You want to do something?
I think those, since it is becoming a very accepted program, I think other stations also who must have heard of this program may also be connected with Abrahamic mission's vision in a way to also hear it. So I think this program is open.
No, they will contact NTA.
Exactly.
And one thing is NTA is that they are willing, always willing, ready to give it out to other people to join. Imam, do you have, or we should go ahead?
NTA is always the mother of all.
Okay.
So they should come and contact them on the issue so that they can have the right also.
But still also not going to be free. We are still waiting for sponsorships, because this is even the kind of audience and viewership of this program and listenership of this program now. I think whatever you come here, it will be a successful one. That I'm very sure of. So we'll be waiting for you to be part of this program by sponsoring it. And let me continue. This man say, Assalamu alaikum, I am Alhaji Mustafa Gambo. Honestly, this program is amazing. I think every Muslim and Christians need to listen to this program. May the Almighty Allah continue to guide and protect us in Nigeria. Another one, I say, good evening, Imam and Reverend Father. I'm watching your program. Please, I request you kindly extend the timing to morning and evening, because this is the topic Nigeria needs the more and not the world. Thanks, Zainab. Well, like I've explained, it's now being shown on so many other times now, including Sunday 5 p.m. and I think it's being shown on NTA twice in a week. In fact, I always say tactically it's being shown on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, because it starts by 11:30 on Friday, it ends by 12:30 on Saturday and on Saturday morning, and also on Sunday is also being repeated by 5 p.m. So it means Saturday, Sunday, Monday is being shown. So I think it's a big thing. This man right, he said, dear producer, the program is very educative, and here suggests that many of your topics, put all the topics discussed as comparative study for primary and secondary schools. Government should include it as a compulsory subject in the curriculum for effective and applications of the objective. Thanks, my regards to the guests in the studio. Zachary Zezino from Badagry.
It is just that in the school curriculum, it is not abridged to, it is not said in a way that it connotes in a way that it is Abrahamic mission studies. But the moment you are studying Islam, CRK and IRK, that is Islam and Bible knowledge. What they teach in school is what we are saying. They try to introduce religion, the religion and the benefits of religion to students. So it's another way of studying Abrahamic mission, because the major religions we have in the world are, the source is from Abraham, and so I think indirectly Abrahamic mission is being taught in schools.
Okay. Yes. Especially in Nigeria, when you are studying BA Islamic Studies, you have to borrow some courses in Christian Studies. If you are studying BA Christian Studies, you have to borrow some courses from Islamic Studies. So it is there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, let me continue with this messages. This one say, I love this program, but I will suggest that this kind of program should be done in the church and mosque, because those people doing that kind of a thing, killing each other in the name of religion, may not even have television to know all these things. Okay, you see that those people are not, you see, those who are doing crisis, who are killing, you see that those people are not educated. They may not even know what television is.
Again, that is also taught in the mosque and in the church, because we teach people in the church moral values, things that will help them to live amicably with their neighbor. And in the mosque, the same thing. Those who are actually teaching this wrong doctrine are not necessarily doing it within the confine of the church or the mosque. So I think the church primarily the primary responsibility of the church is to train up a child in a way that he will be able to live peaceably with others in the society. And I think that is also done. That is what the mosque also does, to build people, to mold, to shape the life of people in such a way that we will be able to live amongst ourselves in a very peaceful environment.
I can add from where Bishop stopped. You see, looking at the Quran itself, it is a book that always be read in the mosque. But what the Quran is saying, whenever Quran talk about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, at the same time you see that Quran is talking about Jesus, or Moses, or David, or Solomon, all of them at the same time. Look at what Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did when Mecca became hot to him. Where did he send his people to go for refuge? He asked them to go to Abyssinia. Today is
under a Christian king.
Under a Christian king. He says, this is part of the topic that we are going to discuss today. He says, go to Abyssinia. The state is under a Christian king who is just. And he will not allow anybody under his state to be wrongly treated. This is the testimony given by Prophet Muhammad on King of Abyssinia in those days. So the region, the teachings of religions in the various religious centers remain the way it is. But however, people have their way of manipulating things. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. We continue with the message. This one said, my name is Kamaluddin Mustafa from Bukuru, Jos, Plateau State. Watching this program got me terrified. Children of their age shouldn't have such mindset about happenings of our dear nation. I hope those above who pledge to secure our safety are listening. May Allah bless our country, Nigeria. I don't know how you understood what. I know you don't understand. Let me explain. He said, I'm terrified. We brought some young people.
Means what generation?
Young generation.
Yes.
They are in DSS, SS. I don't know that you remember. We brought them, and what they said, you will be shocked to your marrow. That these children understood our country more than what we think we know about Nigeria.
Exactly.
They were telling us about history of Nigeria, history of how things were good, history of how things are not the way they had wanted it to be. And that is why I said, I think we have been terrified. So if children can know up to this level, then we have a challenge. I mean, those who are in the position of authority, there is a problem. Because you want to say something?
Yes, if you want to understand what he is saying also, especially this man was from Bukuru in Plateau State. In those days, on Christmas Day, people of Plateau State goes to zoo. On Salah Day, people of Plateau State goes to zoo. All of them, Christians, Muslims, they all go there. You see people playing, doing this, doing that.
I think if I will honor somebody that has united the Muslim and the Christian in this country is Governor of Plateau State. With the work that man has done as a governor, not minding anybody, he will be there just and to serve justice, doing the right thing to make sure the country is in peace. Honestly, the Governor Lalong has really, because he has been on this program.
I hope you are not campaigning for the next vice president.
Well, I'm not a politician and I do not have a say in it, but I will only say things that I know. He has been on this program about 4 times.
And he is the only governor
who received
this invitation.
We just called him and he came.
He is such a pleasant man.
So that is all what I know.
He's a very pleasant man.
So what I mean is that Plateau State. So for this man to be writing like this, I think he knows what he said. Let me continue. This man writes, "Hello, good day. I love your program. I hope every Nigeria will have the understanding and remove religion from killing each other in the name of God." He said, "My name is Jackson," but I don't know where he's writing from. Another man said, "Good day, wonderful children and guests in the studio. Our leaders really need to know that these children are aware of the way they are looting the country. You can imagine children telling us how peaceful Nigeria was and how it has degenerated into what we can't fathom anymore. I love the way those children talk directly to the leaders of this country. Penu is my name." Let me read more.
That is why we have to be very careful about what we do in the presence of our children. They watch us, they have a very magnetic brain. So whatever you do, they are watching. So if our leaders think these children are minors, they are not minors in the real sense of it, because their brain is very sharp. So we have to know that we need to demonstrate before them the virtues that will help them to grow and what will also benefit the country.
Sorry, because we don't have more time, I want to read this message. This man he said, "Good evening, sir. I am Amos Aladufe Music from Odeomu, Osun State." He said, "Most of the parents we are having these days are premature parents who become parents accidentally. So this set of parents don't have any training to pass across to their offspring." I don't know. So that's why I'm interested in reading that message. Well, Mr. Amos Adufe from Odeomo, we want to thank you. I think that will be a parting message for this segment. Mr. Aladufe Music from Odeomo, we thank you and we appreciate you. Keep the messages coming. We will read it by God's grace. You send your message to 070 449. Again, 070 449. Please send only SMS and WhatsApp messages. Please do not call. But don't go away. We are going on a short break now. When we come back, we now discuss our main topic of the day.
The struggle for independence had been a long and tough one. Our founding fathers and compatriots sacrificed their comfort and even shed their blood. We cannot at this point in history afford to spirit away their sacrifices for immediate but temporary gains of today. Let us emphasize what unites and not what divides us. Working for the unity of purpose with a stronger vision for a better tomorrow. NTA, growing with the nation.
Yeah, welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Abrahamic Mission, and today we are discussing politics and the rest of us. Today we have in the studio Imam Muhammad Kabir from National Mosque. Imam, you are welcome once again.
Thank you, and may you all remain blessed.
Thank you so much. And we have Most Reverend Peter Ogumoyowa, is the Archbishop of the province of Abuja, the African Church.
Thank you very much. You are our viewers.
You are welcome, sir. Thank you so much. We will be discussing politics together and the rest of us. If you look at what we are having today, Nigerian is at the peak of it now. Until after, I think the election will be coming up in February next year. So it means between now and February, we have to watch what we do, and we have to get organized, and we have to be enlightened. Many of us who will be actors in this process called politics now, we are either Muslim or Christian. Do not think because you are doing politics that what you can do whatever you like. Don't forget, a day will be a day you will be lonely in your grave. But let me start. Let's first and foremost look at this thing, the politics itself. Bishop, what do you understand by politics? Let's look at politics from religious angle.
Well, politics has to do with reconciling interest. Every individual within a community has a particular interest to live well, interest to live comfortably, and all sorts of things. Of course, our interest varies from person to person, but the ability of the government to reconcile the interest and improve the lot of people around them. So politics is about governance, the aspect whereby human community is being governed by individual or group of people. That is all about politics. And when we look at it from the religious angle, God himself established government of the people. From the Bible, you see, there are dispensations in the scriptures. There's this dispensation whereby God himself was directly in charge of the affairs of men. God gives instruction, he directs people. But it came to a point, we got to a dispensation, a monarchical dispensation, whereby a king, a ruler, was permitted by God for the people. And what was the work of the ruler or a king is to administer justice, fairness, to govern people with God's fear, and in a way that the people will live very well. The resources of the land, of the community, rest in the hands of their rulers, the king. And so the king now, who is the ruler, distributes the resources in order to ensure that every of his subjects live very well. And when in terms of conflicts, disputes among the people, it is also politics, which is governance, that reconcile, try to bring those who are aggrieved, those who are offended, those who are upset. You try to calm them down, calm nerves, and make sure that people live. And because politics is ordained by God, because this issue of that you chose your people to rule over you under the permission of God, it means that God's hand over humanity is not completely off. God just allows some people to be in charge on trust, so that when they do it, so whatever they do in governance, you are still responsible to God. And if you are responsible to God, then it has you have to, because the people you are actually governing, they are the people of God. They are God's creatures. You are just one among equals. You are as a ruler. So politics is something that is ordained by God. In our own parlance in the church, we call it sacrament. Something that is sacramental means something that God himself instituted. I believe God institutes politics, and so if any of God's creature feels, well, politics is for the worldly people, I have no business in politics, then it means you don't really understand God himself and the plan of God for mankind. And that is why in the Bible specifically says we have to respect people in authority. So if God is not interested in politics, in the governing of the affairs of people, the scripture will not say obey people in authority. So the people you are supposed to really obey after God are your rulers. And so if rulers have been enjoined by God, if God has enjoined the subjects, the followers, the people to obey their rulers, it means God is interested, God is happy with a ruler. And that ruler must also be just, must be fair, and distribute the resources, the wealth of the community or the nation in such a way that everybody will be happy. A ruler must not be partial, because you are representing God in the office you occupy. So that is politics.
Even from Islamic point of view,
before I explain the meaning of politics, let me reaffirm what Archbishop mentioned, that people have to obey rulers. In Quran, ati'u Allah wa ati'u Rasul wa ulil amri minkum. Obey Allah, that is the creator. Obey his messenger, who is in between you and God. Then obey those who are in authority. That is your leaders. So you can see both Quran and Bible.
Sacramental, based on what Action said.
Yes. So what is politics? Politics is a system of governing people which was built on mutual consultation and agreement, which will serve the interests of all. So for politics to be established as far as Islam is concerned, people have to agree, all of them, even though if they cannot be 100%, at least the majority of them. So even those who are not majority, if the government is established, they should be carried along also, because they are part and person of that community or society, or let me say country. So let me say governance is a system that was established by the people under the supervise of our Creator, Allah Himself. The essence of humanity first is to manage the affairs of the universe. That is when politics started. Quran is very clear in chapter 2 when Allah says وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً, when Allah informed the angels that He is going to create one creature. Is
that the meaning of what you read?
Yes. Okay. That is human beings. Who is going to be His Khalifa, mean His representative, who will administer all the leadership on earth. We are not the only creatures on earth. We the human being, there are so many creatures. So it is the responsibility of human beings to manage the affairs of the whole universe. So politics does not stop on peoples alone, but it includes all the living things that are around the communities. So for leadership to be successful, to be called as politics, because politics does not mean campaign. Most of people understood politics as campaign. No, that is not politics. Politics is leadership. How to lead people, to lead them to success, to lead them to better economy, good security. That is what we call politics. So politics is, let me say, it is like God Himself transfer some of His attributes to human beings so that they can lead. Because as my brother mentioned, God Himself was the first politician to lead people. So after He now decide to allow human beings to lead themselves under His guidance. So whatever leaders are doing, they are doing it on behalf of their Creator
who has put them there.
Yes.
Okay.
So it is so leadership is not for somebody to achieve his personal goal. No.
It is to serve God.
To serve God and people.
Okay. Let me, before I go to the next question,
before you do, I just want to read it to complement what you have said. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 28, the Bible says, God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and over every living creature that moves on the ground. So God gave the power to human beings to govern, to rule over all His creatures, like He has rightly said. Both human beings, both animals, both birds, fishes, and everything. So the act of politics is Himself, God Himself established it, and so it is godly for you to be a politician. But how you now go about your politicking,
that's where we want to go.
What really matters.
That's where we want to go now. But
just to cite an example, I was in a
we are just in one question though.
Yes, I was in a country where people able to go to the ocean and clean the water in the ocean, remove all the garbages there, so that the water will live there freely. So this is a testimony that human beings are to govern, which include everything. Yes,
including environment.
Exactly.
Yes. Let me quickly read this message. This man say, our political leaders should be listening to this program in order to learn more about Christian and Muslim religion, because some of them are responsible for religious crisis in our country, in our dear country Nigeria. Vincent Christopher from Jos. Why is it that everybody from Jos? You have almost said the same thing, that politics is about leading people and guiding them to do the right thing in achieving their life goals. And the two religions are almost saying the same thing. But if we now look at our own politician now, look at even the process that produce the politician, that produce leaders out of politics, because the difference between a politician and the leader. Many people who are in position of authority, they are still politicians, they are not leaders, because they don't understand what is called leadership. Although we are still going to discuss leadership in another episode extensively, but today we are discussing politics. How do we, in our climb currently or presently, how will you describe the practice of politics in our country today, vis-a-vis what you have defined or how you have explained what politics should be?
Now, if I may come in there, I think unfortunately people, Nigerians in particular, or Africa at large, we do not understand politics from the God perspective, from the religious perspectives. People tend to see politics as business, a venture whereby you make money, a venture whereby you enrich yourself. So when people, the mindset, the mentality of Nigerian politician is, we want to go there and do business and do whatever we can to improve their own lot instead of improving the people. And that is a misplacement of the understanding of what politics is. So the problem, the reason for this is systemic. I think the system, the structure in our country has also giving room for people to believe or to feel that going into politics is to get as much money as possible. I think this one is becoming a phenomenon for this season, this time, because in the past, from our founding fathers, it was not like that. In those days, the leaders really understood what politics is all about, and the few things we are still enjoying, we are even enjoying today, were really planted
by them,
by our founding fathers. You can see the three major religions we had at that time. They were competing in making sure that they improve the lot of the citizens. But that is not what is. We don't know what happened. Maybe some people said maybe military incursion
that led
to the corruption that we have today. Because
no, it's because of plenty money.
No, not just plenty money. You know, when the era of plenty money, when we discover oil and all these things, were all kind of military. And you know, a military man, they say absolute power corrupts absolutely. So it does not need. They didn't need to consult anybody before taking decisions. So maybe that was what led to where we are today. But in the real sense, that is why I believe that the National Assembly, those who make laws, need to come up sincerely to make laws that will make it difficult for any politician who occupies position of authority to begin to behave as if he can steal with impunity. So if there are laws that checkmate that, but look at what has just happened today in the two political parties. The amount by which but the major political parties, the main political parties, the PDP sold the sticker is form for 40 million, presidential form. APC sold his own for 100 million. Where under normal during the time of Papa Awolowo, during the time of Sardana, where would they get such money? In fact, if you say you have that type of money, you will go to jail, because you need to establish the source of your income. So we need to now come up with laws that will really make it difficult, because anyone that occupies any political office now today has easy, like you have said, free easy access to Nigerian money. And before you know it, if he was an average person, by the time you get to that political office, you just see him having been millions, plenty of houses. So there must be law to checkmate all this. There must be law, because if you continue to think Nigeria is rich, we are no longer rich, because we are so indebted today. It shows that Nigeria is not rich. And any government that comes to power now should be thinking of how to cut down the excesses, the way money flows with politicians. They should find a way of cutting it down, and we will see that people will now begin to go into politics with the right mind, with the right mentality, that no, I'm not going there to make money, but I'm going there to serve, maybe just like we have in other places. So I traveled abroad. We see Senate. The last leadership meeting I went for in South Africa, there was a senator who also participated in that leadership, and a member of their House of Representatives. They didn't come with any escort. They were just like ordinary person. By the time the lady was talking and she introduced herself as a senator, I said, "Are you?" After the program, I asked her, "Are you a senator?" He said, "Yes." "Where is your orderly?" He said, "No." "Where is your official vehicle?" He said, "No." He said they were treated in South Africa. They are being treated like civil servant, ordinary civil servant. In US, and we were told also in US that is the same thing. Don't even have accommodation. But they join public transport. I heard this lady, a senator, join public transport. To the extent that I was not saying, is it not the same Africa we have? Is it not the same world we are? So I think they should make political appointments less attractive. We'll get that of money, and it will reduce all this madness. Did you get the question? I should.
Yeah. Really, let me.
I want to look at the way we now conduct our own political activities in Nigeria.
I think
but please make
most of our politicians in this day, maybe they miss the road, because it is established in our books, in our scriptures. Let's look at Sayyidina Umar. Sayyidina Umar was the second caliph in the history of
what is caliph?
Caliph mean leader, like president, king, or whatever. So after Prophet Muhammad, then we have Ibrahim and we have Abu Bakr. The third person after Abu Bakr is Umar. In his time, he said, "How can I sleep as the leader of this people, while maybe somebody in Baghdad will sleep today without having something to eat? How can I sleep?" Look at how leader feels what his subject are feelings. There was a time in the night, so even in the night, he is walking the street just to know the condition of people there. That is the purpose. So on his way, he come across one house. He had children's crying. He now knock. The wife, the lady there, opened the door. And he said, "Sister, what is happening? These children are crying, and I can see you cooking something on the fire. What is it?" She said, "Please, sir, these children, as you see, they are hungry, and I don't have anything to give to them. Even this, what you see me cooking, is not food. I just create something so that for them to feel that I'm cooking something for them. See, what is happening? She said, we don't have. But our leaders are not there for us to understand our situation. That's what she says. He said, okay, madam, can you please allow me to assist you? She says, well, if you can't, sir. She don't know who is he. He now come back to his house. He asked his wife, he said, madam, do we have something in the kitchen? She says, okay, please give me this and that, and you take this and that. Please follow me. Let's go and assist some people. And they went. This is the Khalifa himself, just like the head of
the president.
Not the president alone, because he is not managing one country.
That's true.
He is managing many countries, just like head of what do they call it, the chairman of ECOWAS or African Union.
African Union.
Yes, something like that. But look at how he feels. So he now quickly went and gave them the food. Then he said, sir, thank you very much. Who are you, sir? He said, I am Omar. So is that you? It says, oh, thank you very much. So this is the leadership we want, for somebody to take people as his own subject.
Okay.
Like what Abubakar says. A poor man is the most biggest man beside me. I have to stand for him. Even the rich man also is under me. I will stand by him. That is leadership.
Thank you.
So leadership is to provide an enabling environment for the people.
I will tell you the story
yes.
of one president that died recently in a small country called Oman, but after this short break. Okay.
You come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's stay together. Let's stop fighting each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Good Nigerian girls. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. How can we develop? We're always in crisis. Finalists have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's be together.
Yeah, welcome back. If you are just joining us, we are discussing politics and the rest of us. I promise that I will tell you the story of one king, but I will brief because we don't have time this time around. There was the president of, I think the king of Oman. If he wants to, every year, he will go to the poorest of the poor, he will go to their village. He will say nobody should wear slippers when they want to enter. It is what they have in that village, everybody must sit on. So he will now bring all his ministers around. If anybody raise it, there's a real interaction between him and his people. Whenever anybody asks any question, if any minister is want to do, he will ask him, "Oh, you face your people. What do they do?" The punishment that the people recommend is what he will met on that minister if there is any need to recommend any punishment. That is responsive politicking. Imam, please.
Can I give another story? King Fahd, late King Fahd of Saudi Arabia, once have said, I thank God who give me the power to make food equal between the king and the less privileged in the country. So in Saudi Arabia, in those days, king will eat chicken, and the least person in that country also may eat chicken.
Let's leave it like that.
Well,
let's leave it like that. But let us now look at the politics in our country now. It is now a do or die affair. if you want to become anything, in fact, the worst is for you to become to compete, to say you want to become a councillor. I don't know if you have experienced that. I've lost 2-3 of my friends because they are competing to become a councillor in my area. Before election date, they died. How? Only God knows. Why is it that politics has become a do or die affair now? Is it because the winner takes all and the loser loses all, or what?
Well, I like we have been saying, I think the politicians also are not magnanimous in victory. If you know, if I contest and I lose, as I lose, I still have hope of making ends meet, because whoever that has won will carry to again everybody along. I think those who are really fighting for that office, we know that they still have future and there's still something for them even after they must have lost. But I think it is do or die because, like I said earlier, because people feel it is now business and it is an avenue for them to become rich quickly. But I don't want us to close this meeting by not talking to the public now. Okay. Because there are ways now. We thank God. If we say government has not done anything good for us, government has done something that is fundamental in making sure that the electronic voting is being enthroned, is being entrenched into the system. Technology now dictates our election. People who feel, well, before our vote does not count, now vote will count because of the new electoral law that has been passed into law. So whatever we do now, we are talking of PVC. If you don't want bad politicians to come to rule us, go and get your PVC and vote. Don't live in the past. The past is that whether we vote or we don't vote, they know those they will give power. There is law now, the enabling law now will not allow for the type of corruption we used to see in our electoral process. It is not the same. So we have opportunity of producing a very good leaders that we desire in the next dispensation. So I want to say, for us to wipe away bad leadership, the solution now is to get PVC and make sure you vote for your right choice. Okay. And then don't be intimidated and don't think that my vote does not count. So that is just what I want to add to this, so we can have a better
why I don't want to talk on it now is because I know between now and February, I assure you, our discussion will mainly be focusing on how do we make our politics a better one. How do we make leadership a better one? Imam, you want to say something?
You see, our main problem is that we look at things materially. Well, the way it's supposed to be, all politicians, the rest of citizens in the country, they should know that, yes, no matter how far you have gone in this life, at the end of the day, one day will come which you will live this life and being alone in a sacred place. Not even sacred, in a secret place. A Muslim will go to his grave no matter how rich he is or how powerful he is. A Christian will go to his grave. The only thing he can have is maybe, let me use one proverb, 1 million casket. You see, that's all. You cannot go. Look at the pharaohs whom were buried in a golden casket. Where are they today? They are there. So what we lack in our politics here in this country is God. We lack God. If politicians are there to represent God, to administer justice, to provide for others, to create an enabling environment for God's sake alone, so that the people will feel better. Economic opportunities will be for all, will be for everybody. Not you will be there as leader just to enrich yourself or your families or your friends. No. In Africa, I will cite an example of Paul Kagame of Rwanda. This man, I respect him very much because he came after the genocide between the two, Hutsi and Hutu. But this man used his own magical political way to unite them. Today, if you go to Rwanda, you will know who is Hutsi, who is Hutu. He made them to be Rwandans alone. If you go to United States, the issue of English people, the Red Indians, the Spanish, whatever has been eliminated. All what they have is what? American. That's all. This is how it's supposed to be here.
I think
just to have a Nigerian alone.
I think to come in, I think he has said it right. We lack God. There is this argument going on now: Muslim ticket, Christian ticket. If we have God, like he has said, nobody will care about the religion our leaders have. No, but because those who are Muslims, they don't have God. I mean, the politicians who profess to be Muslims don't have God. The ones who profess to be Christians, they don't have God. So everybody is afraid. So if truly we have God, nobody will care. And let me fear of God with the mind of God. Let's end it with that. Whoever nobody has.
Let me give you a pictorial example that you will understand what you are saying the better. I will use Nigeria. We will be in the middle of all these two countries. I want to say there are so many Muslims in Europe and America today. They never care who their rulers are, and yet they go there with happiness, with joy. There are many Christians in Saudi Arabia, in Oman, in other Islamic countries. In fact, they do not do their Sunday services on Sunday. Some it's on Friday, they call Sunday, and Christians go to church. Yet they are not complaining. But because the leadership in the Islamic countries and Western countries provide everything which a human being is in need of, yes, the Christian who doesn't go to church on Sunday does not see there's any problem. The Muslim in the Western countries does not feel that it does not have Sharia, does not have anything the way it's supposed to do, and yet they're living together. What is wrong with us? That we are now shouting there must not be Muslim ticket, there must not be Christian ticket. What is wrong with us? What
because
can we do?
We lack God. That is the summary.
Let me cite
God
an
is not
example.
in us.
Let me cite an example. Look at Iraq. The majority of Iraqis are Muslims. But do you know that during the time of Saddam Hussein as the president of Iraq, his vice president Tariq Aziz, that is his name, was a Christian.
In fact, it became so powerful.
And nobody even knows that.
What about Senegal?
Look at the Senegal also.
What happened in Senegal?
Their president
Is
a Christian president defeated the Muslim president who is incumbent in a Muslim state.
Senegal is always a Muslim state.
Yes, but because all what it's supposed to be, who can deliver best, not who will take for himself. If it is by merit, that is who will serve people sincerely. Of course, everybody can be the head or whatever. So, and nobody will complain. As long as we ensure justice, equal opportunity to all citizens, everybody will embrace.
God bless.
Yes.
That why people are afraid of Muslim ticket or Christian ticket is because of the tendency of, if it's a Muslim that is there, he only better himself, his religion and his family. If it's a Christian that is there, he does not care about other religions. But the moment we purge ourselves out of that, if a Muslim gets there and he sees every Nigerian as his brother, as his subject, and he does well, it was a fear to everyone, nobody will care whether it's a Muslim or a Christian. So we will just advise that those who are there today now, if they are opportune to listen to us to this program, please, if you get there, if peradventure we have Christian ticket or Muslim ticket,
incidentally we are almost having it like
we are almost having it like that. If it comes like that, you now justify why you were elected and do good to both Christians and Muslims, and you will see that you will make the difference. In fact, if we, by whichever way, we have Muslim tickets at this time, and in another 4 years Nigeria is better for it. Every Christian sees that he can worship his God the way he wants, and no problem, and there's food on the table. I'm telling you, in the next another 4 years, they will still vote it.
Definitely.
And say go on, because while we have Muslim ticket, my life became better. So I think it still rests on our politicians that, look, don't be bigotry, don't remove nepotism,
yes,
remove tribalism in governance,
and be just,
rule as a just leader, and you will see that people will follow you and nobody will think about it. I am praying that somebody will rule this country and nobody will think, everybody will forget that I'm a Christian or I'm a Muslim, but they will see that we will see ourselves as.
Did you remember former NAFDAC director, late Akuili? Did you remember that woman, Nora Akuili? When she was the DG of NAFDAC, nobody remember her tribe, her religion. In fact, the only problem she had was from her own personal people,
because
everybody was raising, promoting her. I remember what we did for her as an imam that time, because nobody remember because everybody was satisfied. That time we thought it was AIDS that was killing us, not knowing it was fake drugs. Until when that woman came and they began to remove fake drugs, the issue of dying of ordinary malaria began to get clear of. I think this is where we stop today's program. I know many people are still eager. Even my cameraman has forgotten what to do with the camera, so he's actually listening to the program. Don't worry, like I've said, by God's grace, this topic and will be revolving around this in the next 6 months. By God's grace, the essence of this is to make our country better, and we are sure by God's grace it will be better. Thank you, Archbishop, for being around. We are very grateful, and Imam, we appreciate you. I know from morning till now it has been, do I say, evangelism that has always been on.
Yes.
We thank you, and to all of us who have been there listening and watching, we thank you. Until when we meet next week same time, don't forget on Sunday we'll still be there by 5 p.m. My name is Imam Fuad Adeyemi, telling us bye bye.
The struggle for independence had been a long and tough one. Our founding fathers and compatriots sacrificed their comfort and even shed their blood. We cannot at this point in history afford to spirit away their sacrifices for immediate but temporary gains of today. Let us emphasize what unites and not what divides us. Working for the unity of purpose with a stronger vision for a better tomorrow. NTA, growing with the nation.
vaccine is safe and it has been certified safe and usable by NAFTA.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Nigeria's fight against HIV and AIDS, which is now 35 years, is a tale of lessons learned and several milestone achievements, even in the face of multiple challenges. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Last Mile with NACA. I am Adesuwa Osuyi. Stakeholders in the HIV response in Nigeria were gathered at the United Nations headquarters in Abuja for the official launch of a publication titled From the Darkest of Days to a New Dawn, 35 Years of the Nigerian Response to HIV and AIDS. This episode brings you highlights of the event. Keep watching.
Since the discovery of the two index cases in 1985, Nigeria's sustained response to HIV and AIDS for over 30 years now has been a journey characterized by loss and hope, commitment and partnership. In an effort to document this history, the Joint United Nations Programme on HIV and AIDS, in collaboration with the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, and other stakeholders, authored a book titled From the Darkest of Days to a New Dawn, 35 Years of the Nigerian Response to HIV and AIDS. The official unveiling of the publication, recently held at the UN House, Abuja, was graced by notable personalities, most of whom are contributors to the national response. Delivering the welcome remarks on behalf of the UN Resident and Humanitarian Coordinator, the WHO country representative to Nigeria, in the person of Dr. Walter Mulombo, commended the government of Nigeria for the commitment.
Start by congratulating the government of Nigeria for their strong leadership and commitment to the fight against the colliding pandemic of HIV and COVID-19 in Nigeria. The UN system working with HIV in Nigeria joined the UN Executive Director and the UN Deputy Secretary General in saluting President Muhammadu Buhari for his unwavering political leadership and commitment to changing HIV narrative in Nigeria. We equally salute the US government and the Global Fund for steadfastly standing in solidarity with the Nigerian HIV response for the past 2 decades. We are proud to have been requested to support the government and people of Nigeria to document the evolution of the HIV response. We encourage you all to read the publication. By understanding how the current relation response to the war, we believe that it will help us to better understand the current situation of people living with HIV and inspire us to go to the aftermath, leave no one behind, and end aid by joining the therapy.
Goodwill messages were delivered by partners, including the U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria and the National Coordinator of the Network of People Living with HIV in Nigeria, NEF1.
It is a piece of joy that all the interventions and efforts in this past 35 years did not go down the drain without an impact, as evident in the NIH report and in the publication that will be launched today. I congratulate all other heroes making their silent, genuine, and humanitarian effort towards abating the spirit of HIV and AIDS in Nigeria. With all this strides we have made, I urge all of us as government, partners, civil society to continue to work together as we all have a part to play to challenge inequalities, achieve epidemic control, and aid needs by the NFHS.
When Nigeria's first cases were reported in the mid-1980s, it marked the beginning of what appeared to be an unstoppable epidemic. But today we've come to celebrate that the impossible is possible, and reaching HIV epidemic control is becoming a reality for Nigeria. And I am so proud that the U.S. government, through the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, has improved access to HIV treatment services in every corner of this country. I'm also really proud of how we've reached this point together. Our current target was based on the Ministry of Health's highly successful population-based survey, the Nigerian AIDS Indicator and Impact Survey, NICE. The data we received allowed us to zoom in on reaching 95 goals as it informed our ART surge strategy to target treatment for populations of unknown HIV status and as governors and religious and traditional leaders for the state level buy-in. The result of this unprecedented achievement and journey with the Nigerian government is what we celebrate today in this publication led by the UNAIDS country team.
Next was the background and inspiration for the publication, delivered by the UNAIDS Country Director, Dr. Erasmus Mora.
I think we have stories to document facts, to make our case, and to share our case more easily and widely. But we also tell stories to remember and learn from the past so that we are not condemned to repeat the past. But here in the we also tell stories to credit, glorify, vindicate historical facts. But lastly, we also tell stories to build relationships, make people care, and motivate them to push for the last mile. Finally, I talked about where the spark came from for this professor, the spark came from there. And we pursued it under Minister Henry, Dr. Gamble, Edward Kalon, and we push. And let's not forget, you don't tell stories about nothing. You tell stories about substance and content. Because without certain people and the support and the solidarity that we need to achieve, we can tell stories about nothing. We have Dr. Gamble, we have the Honorable Minister, we have multiple speaking. Thank you. And people living with HIV Nigeria to you guys provide substance that is captured in the window.
While giving an overview of the publication, the Director General of NACA, Dr. Gambo Aliu, acknowledged the efforts of his predecessor, stating that the response is one that builds on successive gains.
It is an account of the evolution of the HIV for over the last 35 years. That account, in the first chapter, when you look at it, it highlights when the first cases of HIV were identified in the country, and then it goes to give how that field infection now made a yield to a full-fledged epidemic, and how the government of Nigeria responded, at the beginning and then later, by bringing up a program that is large and that is commensurate with the way the election goes at that time. The chapter covers that period between 2004 and 2015 that was characterized by rapid program expansion, and that expansion got a huge boost, with the coming of PEPA program. Chapter 3 brings us to the time when, which is near this time, when we begin to rethink and reprioritize, and thinking that this donor-driven support that is made available is not going to be there forever. And the earlier we begin to look at the direction of national ownership, and the earlier we begin to look at the direction of financial sustainability, the better for the program. And that was what started the era of representing, and that led to the build-up of what we've launched recently, HIV Transformer of Nigeria. It's all in that direction to provide management resources for financing to sustain response beyond the area of donor-driven arrest program. So, looking at chapter 4, is a chapter that now chapters a story that is really interesting. The response got complicated along the way, and what was this complication? The complication was an introduction of an epidemic, and that was when HIV infrastructure was brought into play, and we did not respond. The country responded promptly. The country responded to COVID, the kind of response that the global community acknowledged, and the kind of response that national leadership is happy with. Chapter 5 concludes the journey so far and provides some stories and pattern visuals by key government officials and government partners in HIV leadership. The HIV program in the country is one that builds on the success gains of previous administrators. So I'm happy to have the my predecessors, the two director generals of NACA that are here, and the wife of the late our director general, Professor Shirley.
Much work has been done in the fight against HIV/AIDS in Nigeria. However, more work needs to be done. Together, we can end AIDS by the year 2030, even amidst coronavirus pandemic.
Educate yourself. This is crucial in the fight against HIV and AIDS.
Get tested. The only way to know for certain your status and stop the spread.
Get involved. People with HIV and AIDS need care and support.
Say no to stigma. Stigma prevents people from getting tested and those living with HIV from treatment.
Spread the word. The more we educate others about the disease, the better we can fight it. Adhere to COVID-19 prevention protocols, wear a face mask, and maintain physical distance in public places.
Remember, only united can we defeat HIV to finish and end AIDS by the year 2030. Get tested today. Let's fight HIV to finish in Nigeria.
Reflections on the book by former Directors General of NACA, among others, was next.
So I happened to have a look at the book a few days ago before I traveled, and what really hit me most was the chapter that dealt with the fallen heroes. Because we do have people that are currently not here with us that would have been here if they were given the opportunity of antiretrovirals. But they're not. More than 30 million people have died worldwide. At least 1 million Nigerians, if not more, have died from HIV. So I think it's really important we continue to remind ourselves of the people that we're actually working for. These are people living with HIV. And this is a business of saving lives more than anything else. It's certainly a new dawn, and I really hope over the next 35 years we will continue to address the big elephant in the room, and that's really the issue of sustainability and